Jim from Advanced Performance Shooting again. And we've kind of stepped back for a minute from our 1 of 100 concealed carry standard video series that we've been working on. And I wanted to address a video that I was shown yesterday, I got exposed to yesterday. Guy talking about one-handed shooting. And I really kind of thought that the whole competition will get you killed kind of concept had gone away, but apparently not. The video turned to timers and switches and competition versus defensive, and in the moment you're going to do whatever is the appropriate thing, and whatever, that's not going to be how that's going to work. But it would be funny, I think, except for it's such a disservice to the firearms training community. There are people that are getting their firearms training from the internet. They're internet trained, and they see that, and I read the comments, and they're like, "Oh, thanks, that's spot on, this, that, and another." Holy cow! The fundamental skill sets required to run a firearm don't know boundaries. They don't know tactics. That's something completely different. I build my stance to get as much balance and stability without detracting from mobility that I possibly can. I don't stay square to the target for timers or switches. I stay square to the target because it affords me the widest field of view. It allows me to get from one side to the other if I needed to, and it doesn't detract from my mobility. If I were bladed to the target because I didn't have to be mobile or because I was better able to utilize cover, then I've given up the mobility side of that, or I've given up some of the balance. There are trade-offs inside of it, but the trade-off isn't required of me simply because I took a hand off the gun. This is balanced and stable. If both hands are on the gun, balanced and stable, and I take one hand off, it doesn't change my balance, my stability, or whatever required amount of mobility that I might need. The other piece that was all but laughable inside of that is perhaps in this defensive setting, I have to lock my arm versus being able to shoot with my elbows slightly bent. I shoot with my elbows bent all the time. I shoot with my elbows bent with a rifle, way more recoil than with a handgun. I rotate the points of my elbow down towards the ground, again, for balance and stability. It puts a little bit of pressure into my arm, kind of a counter rotation, if you will, but it's not because I have one hand on the gun versus two hands on the gun. Our stance absolutely has parts that will help us in recoil management over time. But those things, the fundamental skills, don't change between competition and defensive use of a firearm, and they certainly don't change because I needed to or wanted to, for whatever reason, take one hand off the gun.